Hey everyone! Oh my god. What the fuck was that? I'm sorry. I'm in a state currently. But I just want to record this and finish this so it's done. But this is just an intro. The actual content is coming in just a second. First and foremost though, got to get on track here. First and foremost, thank you so much. So many of you. Oh my god, we hit 1 million subscribers. No, a handful of people, several. No, some of you guys out there, an indescript number, reached out with so much support and compliments, and were so kind to me after that first intro episode last week, which was so gall dang nice, and I felt like a pretty little princess. And I'm so sorry, by the way, for the audio quality. My shit was not plugged in correct, and I didn't notice until after, and I was like, you know what, I'm not fucking recording that again. It's the whole big, you get it. But hopefully it's better now. Check 1 2. 1 2, check. Little ASMR. Okay. Focus. Had to burp. I moved the mic, so you guys definitely didn't hear that. I'm not editing this. I refuse. Okay. This is a problem. This episode. 3 years ago, I had a podcast with my dear sweet friend Caroline, and we gave relationship advice even though we had never been in relationships. We called it Coaches Don't Play. That was 3 years ago. That project got abandoned, but it was very fun and nice, and so many people were supportive back then too, which was great. And so I was like, okay, I have to pay homage to those that have fallen. Oh my god. Okay. Pause the recording, did some deep breathing, I'm back. But we had this podcast, so we revamped, rebooted. We're doing another episode. We used to have people write in questions, but obviously that was 3 years ago. So we just found some relationship questions like on Reddit and had some fun with that. This episode is a lot longer than last week's. Obviously, it's like over an hour. And just as a warning, I don't think I'll have any sort of average time on any of these podcasts. It might be 15 minutes. It might be an hour and a half. You'll just have to find out. I don't know. I think that's hopefully that's all I have to say. Thank you again so much, like genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Really, I don't know. You guys are everyone was being so nice to me. And I really appreciated it. And I really appreciate all the people in my life. Everyone, all of you, every single person. I love you all. Let me shut the fuck up for once. Okay. Thank you again so much. Sorry for this rambling. Here is me and Caroline. Caroline and I. Fuck! Oh, fuck!
Never played a second in my life, but I remind him of the saying, if you can't play it, you coach it.
Wow.
Wow. You know what I was thinking about? I was like, what if, as I was listening to the past episodes, I was like, what if we pretend like we haven't seen each other since the last time we recorded?
How have you been?
Dude, literally so good to see you.
Oh my god, so good to see you. No, I do want to say that just right now, immediately, it hit me that we're sitting like on a black leather couch facing each other with two mics doing a podcast, which feels so like
Capital P podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. There should be camera recording, honestly.
Yeah, of
Should've
course.
had
But
visuals.
but you know, we're on the first floor, so people walking outside can just kind of like watch.
There is an audience, and I do have to remind myself when I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs, pretending to like be killed by my dog, that like there are people on the sidewalk, and I'm like, it's a bit.
It's a bit.
It's a bit.
Anyway, hey.
Hey.
This is the resurgence of Coaches Don't Play.
But it's Tyler tries her best.
Right.
First and foremost.
First and foremost, but you know, you gotta pay homage to the fallen
forefathers.
veterans. Yeah. to the ones who came before.
Of course.
Um,
God, this was talking into a mic was such a big part of my life from like 2019 to like 2021.
oh right, you had your radio show, you had your
And
podcast
three separate podcasts. Thank you very much. And
You
I'm
had-
like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that was what a crazy hobby that was. And now that I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, it's what I was born to do.
It's yeah.
It just feels so right.
It's addicting.
Yeah.
It's addicting. Okay, but I didn't plan anything.
Oh,
for
period.
This
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, I know the structure that we had before. I wasn't going to get anyone to email me relationship questions like 3 years later.
Yeah.
So I was like,
You
okay,
should have followed up with those people.
dude, we could maybe try to like log back in, see if we have different answers.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, I don't think we do.
No.
So basically, I was thinking that we would just like go on Reddit or Quora or like, I don't know, like Twitter. I don't know. Probably just
enough.
Reddit, and look up like relationship questions, read them. We're basically being like a Reddit podcast, but we're gonna pretend like they were questions submitted to us.
Yeah. Did you listen to old episodes?
Yeah, I have.
I listened to the first and second ones.
What was the very first one?
It was just saying hello.
Okay.
And it
And
was
then the
there
second
was
one
no
long
theme.
distance.
Second one was cheating.
Cheating.
Which
right.
still, I think
we immediately went to cheating.
you guys should actually, if you're gonna go back to any episode, I do think you should listen to that one, because the funniest thing in podcast history happened where we just started naming people we know who've cheated.
And instead of cutting out the section, we just bleeped the names, and we were just giggling about cheaters.
It was
great.
I was cracking me up because I still know who we were saying.
I know exactly who you're saying,
Yeah.
and the order.
Yeah. So if you guys just feel free to reach out to us personally,
Yeah.
we will
We'll
share
tell
that
you.
information.
We'll tell you who it was.
It was no
for
worries
sure.
at all. Well, now I'm curious, just like reaction to listening back in general. Initial reaction.
I love listening back. Like
Yeah.
I over the past 3 years, I have listened back like to half an episode here, half an episode there. Just when I like really don't know what to put on in the car.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
just
like,
your own voice sounds nice.
Yeah, I'll just go back and listen and see if we were being silly or not.
Yeah.
And
We were.
Yeah, we were being silly.
were.
I stand by everything we said. But it's funny because it's like, I think truly our opinions on other people and their relationships still the same.
Duh.
But I feel like in the past 3 years, the way we view love in our own lives has completely changed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Has completely changed. Because I was listening to like the top where it was like we had the goals that we set for ourselves. And
I
was
forgot
like,
that was a segment until I
I
re-listened.
know. And I was like, oh my God. Neither of us would do any of these things anymore.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah.
You like ethically and morally because you're in a loving relationship.
Sure.
Me, I'm just like, no, I will not do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My first reaction, like 2 minutes into episode 1, was like, God, this was the best summer of my life. Like, summer 2021, A was nothing like it because it was like vaccine dropped.
Sure.
We're 2 dosed up. We're going out.
Yeah.
Like, it was Roaring 20 vibes. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, it was just like, all my friends lived
Yeah.
right near. It was just, there was also a lot of like personal things adding up, but more than anything, I was like, oh my God, I forgot what it was like to go to the bar for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Out in the world.
Yeah.
Of course we were gonna have shit to talk about. Of course I was gonna say stuff like, I'm gonna talk to strangers and ask for their Instagrams.
No, I know.
It was summer 2021, baby. Come on.
I know.
It was so fun. Also, my job, I think I worked 3 days a week, 6 hours a shift. Like, my life is never going to be that good ever again.
I know.
Didn't pay rent, living with my parents.
Yeah. We were
Podcast with my friend Wednesday at 10 a.m. Why not?
Why not? We were so like still college coded
Yeah.
while being post grad.
Yeah.
And that is such a sweet and short time.
Yes. It was really beautiful.
Do you want to talk about your relationship?
Oh, well, that was my other initial reaction. What if I just hid that then the entire time?
You were like, what relationship?
What relationship? The other part of it was funny because listening, I like remember some questions, didn't know which was which episode. And then up top, first episode, question sent in by my now boyfriend, by my now partner of nearly 3 years who I live with. It was anonymous, submitted it, but I'll say his name,
Oh.
Caleb Soul,
Caleb Soul, yeah.
was the one that was like, this girl is texting me and she keeps using this like emoticon, which was like colon, comma, smiley face, which we didn't know if that was like a crying face or
Yeah.
like a flirty little nose
Yeah.
or whatever. But it was just us being like, is she quirky or is she into you?
Yeah.
And I think that's cheating.
What was that? That must have been like 3 or 4 months before you guys first went on a date?
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, that was in July, and we went on a date in October. But there are just moments. The thing about being in a monogamous relationship is that when you hear stories, like one time your boyfriend was texting with a girl and she put in a smiley face, you're like, so you've never trusted me. You
I'm
didn't
gonna
actually
kill you
like
with a
me.
knife.
I'm going to kill you with a knife.
Yeah.
Which Benny Drama and Mary Beth Brown on their podcast Ride have a really good episode on the rules of cheating, which
Yeah.
is just check that out. I'm not going to
No.
try to explain it to you, but having texted a girl and having had to look at the emojis that she's using to decode it is cheating on your future girlfriend. in a
Yeah.
way.
So, guys, be fucking careful out there.
Careful. Be literally so careful.
No, I think that's very funny. I think that, oh, my thought left my mind.
Think about Tiny Puppy.
Oh, just the idea that also, like, specifically, like, you know about it, not just because you, like, heard about it or saw it in his phone, but
He reached out to me.
you we had to give him advice publicly
Literally,
about that.
Literally.
That's rough. That one's a little rough.
Yeah, but he remained a loyal listener, and you know, we were able to bond over the podcast, and then one thing led to another, and now we live together. So
Yep, except he's not here and I am right now.
say that. Say
We're in your
that.
apartment.
Oh my
I don't know
god!
if we
Wait,
made that
can I
clear.
play one part for you?
Yes.
That we literally. Okay, this is the part.
This week,
Episode 1.
we fall in love this weekend. We come back next time. We're like, we're actually both in relationships. This has been so fun, you guys. But we're players
Thank you
now.
so much for your emails.
Right.
However, we're closing it down. That would be actually really
If that day ever comes, we have to have an episode where we just go back, listen to all the advice we've ever given, and be like, so we were wrong about all these things.
We weren't wrong.
We weren't wrong.
Actually, if either of us ever has anything that looks like a partner, the first
Wait, pause.
Sorry.
I love that you said looks like a partner, because I literally was like, dude, Caleb looks like a partner. like he has a tote bag and earrings. He's a partner, not a boyfriend.
Dude, it's like I don't like what's wrong with me? Like why was I so afraid to say like relationship or say boyfriend or girlfriend? I was like something that if either of us ever have something that maybe looks like a partner, are you fucking kidding
No,
me?
that's literally so progressive of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Anyway,
tried
that
so
just that
hard.
when you said that really made me laugh.
Yeah.
that you have with them, like the first like real date you have with them, has to actually be as a guest on the pod.
That's
Yeah.
actually so fun. And if they wouldn't do that, then why would I waste my time?
Anyway, he's not here to be a guest on the pod, but know that every time we hang, he's essentially a guest on our podcast.
No, exactly.
So-
Exactly.
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 The other thing, my last and final reaction to listening to these 2 episodes, I was like, these will forever be so time-stamped with the, like, Twitter language I was addicted to using.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not saying I've grown out of that at all.
No, just grown into new words.
Right.
And
It
they
was just
keep
like,
cycling
oh my
through.
god, I was being so 2021. How fun.
I know. That was such a weird time. I've had the weirdest, like,
Time.
time of it. Like, you know how, like, I feel like everyone kind of goes through one, like, big, in their sort of, like, young adulthood, adolescent, like, one big, like, personal shift.
Sure.
And I feel like it's very common for that to happen in middle school or in high school or a lot of times in college. And I really think that mine happened in the last like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not really acting much different. My behaviors aren't different. I don't like believe in different things. It's just truly like how I see me, how I see my life. And you know what? Honest to God, I just got on the right meds. Like,
Okay,
I'm
and that
being
could
so
be
for real.
huge. Yeah.
Like, and I just also grew up. I've always felt a little bit like socially like behind, like 2
Really?
years behind, just like in behavior again, not like
I would describe you as socially like 5 years ahead.
well, okay, true, but like it's one or the other. You know, I never felt I still don't feel totally like on par with my peers always. But I think my opinion and my like perspective of that, like, I don't know, I think it just like really solidified for me that like I don't want to anyway. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if I think that's true and it's making me stressed out, what does that mean? Like, what would I do to get to where I feel like normal, you know? And the things that I would do to get there, quote unquote normal, the things I would do to get there, I don't really have any interest in. Like a corporate job and moving into an apartment before I like have the right setup. And I don't know, just like going on dates, going on apps, like when we're talking about the love sphere of things, like I'm like, relationships really do not interest me right now.
You're not trying to be a player.
Like really at all.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm stuck in a little bit of a thing here because it's like kind of that type of vibe of like anyone who says it's like okay, if there's like this really good musician, right, or this really good band, anyone who says they don't like them just are just trying to like be different, or they do like them but they don't want to admit it, you know?
Yeah.
Or they do like them but they didn't get in on the ground floor, so now they like don't want to like whatever. So it's like I feel like anytime I say like I'm not interested in relationships, I'm not interested in dating, it's like very easy to be like, oh, she just can't get one, you know, like she's deciding that she's not into it so that she has
doesn't
control
get hurt
over the
later.
fact that like she isn't being like pursued or in a relationship, you know, like she's trying to comfort herself for being single. And it's like the more I say I'm not interested, the more it's like, aw, you know, it's like it's kind of one of those things where it's like the more you defend yourself, the more defensive you look.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's the other thing is like, if it happened to me, I'm not saying like, ew,
Well, I already decided I didn't want it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I'm not taking steps to try.
Yeah.
And that is very fine with me.
Right.
And I do sometimes feel a little crazy, like interacting with people our age, like our friends and my coworkers and stuff like that. Just when that is like some like relationship, having a partner is like the forefront of people's lives sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was ever gonna be like that. I think, you know, when you see the occasional like like sort of midlife, like middle-aged, like 40s, 50s, like when people get married, like in their later life.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not marrying to like have kids. Like that just seems like that will be really good for me. To just kind of do my own thing and then like have a partnership in old age.
Yeah.
And like that partnership does not even have to be a relationship. Like it could be my own sisters, it could be a friend. Like that's the only thing I'm scared about still about not wanting relationships is like, well, you need a relationship to have family and you have family to take care of you when you're old. But here's the thing, I get really old and need help. I'll kill myself instead.
Hey, I'll take care of myself.
I'll take care of myself until I can't. And then I'm going to walk into the lake.
Yeah.
And take a big old deep breath.
You said childless people, kill yourself.
like me. But childish people who are like me.
Childless person, me.
Me, kill yourself, me. Anyway, I don't know how that came about, but all that's to say that we were like in such a similar place 3 years
Yeah.
ago, being like, we're gonna try stuff, and we have never been in serious relationships, and now like we were somewhere in the middle together, and now we're on the, like, I kind of feel like on either ends of
Yeah.
the spectrum. Like, you are in a really gorgeous, beautiful, commendable relationship
Thank
with someone you
you.
live with.
I feel
and,
like I
like-
felt bad for a second when I was dragging him for cheating. I was like, oh, also update, like, I love it more
I'm
than
in
anything.
love with this man,
Like,
yeah.
obsessed. Thank you, by the way.
Oh,
Of course.
Yep, no problem. Podcast magic. And I just feel less and less involved in it
Yeah.
than I ever have before. And maybe I'll get right back in sooner or later. Who cares?
I like do it just in that realm of like the self-reflection of trying and all, because this is my first relationship and just kind of hit the nail on the head. Gonna stick this one out. It's pretty awesome. Gonna ride this out till the day I die, I hope. But I do sometimes wonder, like, now having this experience, say tomorrow we were both like, let's actually just be single. And then I was a single girl with this mind and body in the position of my life that I am right now. I'm like, damn, would I have the energy to like
Try.
try the way that I'm watching my peers do?
Right.
Or what would that look like? I just don't know.
It.
And I feel like thinking 3 years back, here, like, I was trying, but I was not trying. And that, like, yes, I was a girl going out,
Yeah.
chatting people up.
Yeah.
But also, like, so scared of it. Don't come near me ever.
No. Yeah. I mean, neither of us were doing anything.
So
in
it's
any
just kind of like
serious way.
existing as a young woman is trying for a relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like things can just kind of come to you
Happen.
and you can pass on them, or you see an opportunity and you act on it, and it's like just so like low stakes.
Yeah. I think too, not to get like too spiritual woo, but I do
What
genuinely.
if your update was like, I found God the last 3 years?
I am also in a committed relationship
Yeah.
with Jesus our Lord. But
Sorry, spirit. You said not to get.
oh,
too
not
spiritual.
not to get too spiritual and woo woo, but I think that there is a lot of truth to like the energy that you feel towards relationship is the kind of stuff you end up attracting.
Oh, totally.
So like when you really want a relationship, it's not like you want someone specific or whatever, you just want to be in a relationship so badly, and you have this like almost kind of fantastical idea of what it is. Like it doesn't come,
Right.
and that's not real. And you
Yeah.
have to like be comfortable with yourself alone before you can be in any really like actual good relationship, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so similarly, like I am like in the last couple years, especially this last year, I have like really tried to embrace a lot of like independence and being alone and like finding what I like to do and what I don't like to do and the things that interest me, instead of thinking about like how could I be better. How can I be better so I can be in a relationship? You know, it's
Yeah.
like when you really focus in on yourself, I think that people can pick up on that, you know?
Yeah.
And because of that, like I have felt more attention in that way. I felt more like opportunity in that way. Opportunities I didn't really want or weren't anything necessarily like real and concrete, like I wasn't proposed to, but
That's the only real and concrete thing in this world.
but like it really is true that you have to like get right with yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's like the most annoying advice to get, but it is true. And I'm saying that as a person who still is not completely right with herself and still has never been in a serious relationship.
Yeah.
And that is so okay with me, is the thing. I just like, I don't know.
It's everything that you're saying, like, Yup. Like, I completely agree, and I think, you know, that's like a known thing that an older, wiser person would tell you, and then you can't figure it out until you do it yourself. But it's also interesting because everything you said outside of the relationship aspect of it, I think completely applies to being in your 20s.
Yes.
And then simultaneously being in your 20s is like when love is on the mind harder than ever, when
Yes.
relationships and futures and all of that is like going on at the same time. So it's like really hard to differentiate between the two.
Absolutely.
It's like
Absolutely.
it's like reminding me of like being in college and pursuing a degree and spending lots of money on that degree in hopes that I would have a job and the rest of my life would be set up, and then the whole time thinking like, I'm way too young for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm way too young. Why are y'all making me do this? I'm so young. This is
I'm
so important. I'm
just
so
a
young.
girl.
And then
Yeah.
here I am in my 20s being like, I'm way too young for this. Why are you guys making me build relationships and like figure out what my future family's gonna look like? I'm way too young for this.
I'm way too young for this.
And it's just the thing of like knowing it's happening around you, and like none of the things I'm thinking in my head can come out in words, but just like, I don't know, just fucking growth and having to do it and
Yes.
it naturally happening and like reflecting on it all at the same time, and then being like, how much of this is like my internal self, and then how much of this applies to or is affected by all the pressures around me, being like,
yeah.
well, you must want a relationship, or
Yes.
you must want to work a corporate job,
No,
or
and
whatever.
it is interesting too, because it's like I think are not in like aggressively different places in our lives.
No.
Like, we're very similar. We have, you know, we're best friends.
We're best friends.
But that being said, like the things that are like milestones in life, like you have an apartment in the city that you share with your significant other. who
I'm
you've
way
been-
too young for this. Like, what?
Exactly. And you've been with that person for a while, and you have like a steady job that has a salary, and like all of these things, like, you know, you have a dog that you take care of. You have, hey girl,
Hey, girl.
you bought that hutch, dude.
Yeah, wait, and literally thank you for saying that, because here people are getting like master's degrees, congratulations, getting engaged, congratulations. Buying this hutch, I want you to know, I told everyone in my life as if I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, I got a hutch! I just got the
hutch.
test back, I got a hutch!
I'm hutch.
So anyway, go on, thank you for the hutch shout out.
Yeah, you bought a hutch. Huge news. It's just like you are hitting those like kind of expected milestones, but and I'm not technically. Again, these aren't. It's
in
not.
your
It's
own
neither
way.
good or bad to do these things. I mean, good if it's good, and bad if it's bad, obviously. But but like I do still live with my mom.
Shout out.
Shout out. Not because I need to, but just I like
working out.
it. It works for me. Yeah, I went back and finished school this past year, but I'd taken a big break. Me talking about getting a degree. I took a big
One
break.
of them big breaks.
I took a big break. But no,
You
I
moved to New York, picked up that accent, came back, finished your degree.
I took a big break, and then I ended up finishing my degree, my bachelor's degree. Let me make that clear. A lot of people I graduated the same year as our dear friend Flannery graduated from her master's. And I'm not in a relationship, and nor have I had a relationship. But it's like all of those things truly stressed me the fuck out. Like a little more than a year ago, like I would have been, even a year ago. Like, I'm trying to think of what a year ago September was. Yeah, maybe a little bit before then. Like, would have stressed me the fuck out. Would have been the things I was like most insecure about. And then something just switched, and I was like,
You're like, oh, I'm good.
wait, life is for living.
Yeah.
And not like freaking out. And
Should we get into our meaning of life?
Oh
Because
my
you know we can,
God.
and you know that we do.
I know we'll have a different episode where you and I talk about the meaning of life. But
But it is like if your day is waking up at home, talking to your mom, putting in your shift at work,
yeah.
and my day is like going to my salary job, giving my small salary, and, you know, checking in with my partner who I live with, at the end of the day, we're still going to get mashed potatoes at the same bar and make the same exact jokes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, that is the definition of what point in life are you at.
I
It's
know.
like,
And that's,
what level of silliness are
Yes.
you having with your friends and how often?
and that's like also it's so comforting too to like have such intelligent, beautiful friends that are also in different phases of their life because I feel equal to you.
Of course.
You know, like I feel like we are mature in the same way. I think we have a good outlook on life together. And just because the like technicalities of our life are different, like that used to make me feel like I wasn't doing a good job. But then I was like, but if these people can do it, I can do it too. I'm just doing something different.
Yeah.
And also, it isn't the right answer, of course.
No.
It's what you love. And what I love, I'm trying to figure out,
Yeah.
you know? Should we get started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you pick these out already, or is this complete random?
No, so that was what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I'll pick out questions ahead of time. Then I was like, no, I think we should do this, like, blind. Like, I think we should go in together. And so that we both can, like, react to it. I want to pick some good ones.
So I also am like, so, like, Reddit is such a blind spot to me. Like, I really don't understand how it works. But people are truly turning to this site being like, last resort, I'll ask people of the internet on how to make my wife love me.
Yes. Yes. I think that people I think the appeal is, like, it's anonymous.
Yeah. Okay.
And you get to give the story however you want, which is something we have to consider. Like, these people could be really
Of
biased.
course.
And then I think also there's a lot of, like, instant gratification, you wanting to, like, be seen as the victim in a situation, and you want a bunch of people to agree with you and empower you. Not that that's a bad thing.
That's because I've been there, sister.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think it can be good or bad.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, some of these are just lies. They're not real. Someone's just making them up as, like, a creative writing project, and that's cool. Okay. I'm just gonna read this one. Boyfriend, 22 male, just got mad because I, 22 female,
He sounds toxic already.
didn't tell him soon enough about plans with a friend? Question mark. Am I missing something? So my boyfriend and I have been on thin ice recently. He just moved back to a college town for his 5th year of undergrad. Okay, judgy. Whereas I just graduated. So I live at home. I will admit that I have been short with him and frustrated with how often he goes out with his friends, which I'm not able to do anymore because of a full-time job and a recent best friend breakup. It's sad seeing him in undergrad and doing all these fun things, but I've definitely come to the conclusion that we're at different points. The reasons behind me getting upset at him going out so late and so often go deeper. He has an addictive personality. I don't think he has a problem with alcohol, I just worry. And the manner in which I met him, which was him chatting me up in a bar while he was in a relationship where he had already cheated on her, and he also didn't tell me he had a girlfriend. Anyways, the current issue is that I made plans for tonight to go to a cocktail bar in the city with a friend that I actually met through Bumble BFF. He knows I have that app and is completely fine with me branching out. I've been feeling super lonely and sad after the friendship breakup. He also knows about this friend as he asked who I was texting, and I told him about her. Today he asks me what I'm up to tonight, and I tell him that I have plans to go to a cocktail bar with said friend. He gets upset and almost acts like I was keeping this information from him. He told me I should have told him sooner and proceeds to try and compare it to a situation where he went for a trivia night somewhere and I peeked at his location and saw that he was at a bar, so then I got upset because he told me he would update me if he was going to a bar. To the present situation, I got very upset and said that it felt like he was my parent and I had to report to him. I wasn't keeping this information from him. I told him immediately when he asked what I would be up to. He also told me he might be going out tonight. I'm just at a loss and not sure what to do or think about this situation. Advice needed.
It's wild when, like, there's one situation at hand, you're like, I'm looking for advice because we had this miscommunication, but then there's you list 12 other fights and 10 other red flags
Yeah.
before you get to the actual question.
Yeah. No, the paragraph
Oh,
about their relationship is longer than the paragraph about the situation
Right.
that she's asking for advice
tells you a
for.
lot. This, I remember, like, a couple girls on my floor when I first went to college, like, classic situation. You're like, I'm staying with my high school boyfriend. Like, we're gonna make it. Obviously, they break up at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But there would be nights where they're like, oh, I like, my boyfriend doesn't want me to go out. I'm gonna stay in.
Your boyfriend that like doesn't like live here?
No, that doesn't live there.
Oh,
And I remember being
Oh.
like, oh,
you're
oh, y'all are a little different. Y'all are a little different here in Indiana.
that would be crazy to do even if you did live there.
No, of course.
Like, that is a crazy thing to say, like, oh, my boyfriend doesn't want me to go out, so I'm not going out. No, babe. No.
Yeah, just the culture, which, like, is very real for some people. Not even, like, it's obviously a spectrum of, like, oh, well, he's controlling your every move. That's toxic. You need to leave. But, like, the culture of, like, if you're going out with your boys, text me if, like, girls arrive. Like, can't trust your partner with people of the opposite gender, can't trust your partner going to certain, like, do you know what I'm talking about? That's, like, not
Yes.
that rare.
That culture is insane.
I just, like, don't know how you could keep up with something like that. Like, that is a full-time job keeping tabs on your partner.
Exactly. And also, why?
Why? At the end
Why?
of the day, why?
At the end of the day, why, like, are you together?
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I completely agree about the whole, like, keeping tabs and having friends of, like, opposing genders.
No, say that, sister.
I think it's ridiculous. I think the only time it comes into play is if it's, like, to use a trendy word, like a situationship, in which it's like you guys have not necessarily
You're
fully
curious.
committed to each other, and you're like, you have seemingly got, like, very close relationships with other girls or other boys or whatever, and, like, I'm not sure, like, who you are or what you're about. And so I'm like, this is weirding me out that, like, are you into it or are you not? But
Right.
that's just kind of having a defining a relationship conversation, which is a different thing. If you are in a committed relationship, that's your boyfriend, that's your girlfriend, that's your partner. Girl, if you are afraid of them being around people, break up.
Yeah.
Break up.
Yeah.
And that is the most important part
And,
of
like,
what she said.
seek treatment as well.
Yes.
Like, if that, like, because that's
No, it's not-
obviously
yeah.
the relationship itself not good, but that is something, like, so deeper of, like,
That is so much deeper. And
you
if you're,
have to live a life where you can trust people you love.
exactly. And if you're going to carry that into every relationship,
Oof.
definitely you need to get some help for that. But I think she specifically also, like, says, like, we met because he had a girlfriend but was hitting on me at a bar. First of all, bad choice on your
It
part.
is,
I'm so
like,
sorry.
I, like, can empathize with the delusion of, like, but he chose me, therefore I'm the one,
I'm the
therefore
one.
it's no longer an issue, but it's like,
The-
come
Come
on.
on. The I'm the one delusion is so hard.
Yeah.
Because, like, people really, really cannot understand that someone who cheated on someone else, like, would cheat on you. You know, like, I don't know. Especially when it comes to, like, they cheated on someone with you.
Yeah.
And it happens time and time again. And obviously the real problem is the cheater.
Of course.
But you have to, like, be smarter than that. Birth control?
Yeah. I'm on my period. Don't even worry about it, you guys.
Oh, shit! And wearing a white skirt.
Yes, didn't know I was on my period. Put on a white skirt today. Left the house without a tampon. Braver
Holy
than the
shit.
troops. Wait, speaking of cheating, the other initial reaction that I was gonna say going through the episodes, I've been saying since I was first words out of my mouth were like, it's so easy to not cheat. It's so easy to not cheat. I've always thought that. I just want to confirm to you guys now that I am in a long-term monogamous relationship.
Couldn't be easier.
Every day I don't cheat. It's
Yeah.
really so easy. It's so easy.
Stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, he shouldn't obviously be mad at you for making plans with a friend, but there are clearly bigger issues, and you also know that they're there. You
Yeah.
wrote those issues before you wrote about the problem you were asking
Yeah.
advice for.
I like these questions as being so random because I'm just like laughing in their faces right now.
I know.
I'm
We
like,
don't have to, like-
I don't have to tread lightly. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously this isn't working out.
Yeah.
Wait, can I ask you, what is your, because this just reminds me, like, well, my location services don't work on my phone anymore, but before, when they did, Caleb and I have each other's locations, like, obviously for safety reasons. And I just think it's so funny, the idea of, like, logging on to location settings and, like, zooming in to see, like, what bar they're at and what's the vibe and how many people can be there and, like, is there a dance floor?
Yeah.
I'm just like, that is... I just feel so bad. Like,
No.
what a prison you have made for yourself.
Agreed. I want to think about how I think
Me being like, my location services don't work.
Yeah.
What a great excuse to cheat.
right. I think that, yes, again, location services are intended for safety things. I have a handful of people's locations. The only time the only time I ever really open the app and look at people's locations is if I'm about to go hang out with them and I didn't ask them for the address, so I'm just gonna get directions to their location.
Yeah, that's a perfect use for it.
And it's funny because it's the same thing I feel about Venmo, where it's like every time I open it up for a reason and then I just see that people are across the map and I'm like, oh, fun.
Oh.
I was like, oh, you're back home now.
Right.
Interesting, you know?
Huh.
Didn't know that. Or I would look at it a lot when Moxie, my little sister, was in South America because I just had no idea what her itinerary is. I was like, I have no idea where she is. And then I would like see that people were around or far away. I mean, like our friend Nicole. Sometimes I will open up locations just to see if she's in town or not, because I don't ever know for sure. It's always a 50-50 if she's
that's a good use for it.
here or not.
I always make the joke that to my loving boyfriend, who I trust more than anyone, that it's real convenient that he has a job where every Saturday when I check his location, he is at a hotel late at night.
Do you want to explain a little
Yeah,
more?
he's a wedding videographer, so he's often at weddings, hitting the dance floor at the Hilton or whatever. But I am just like, this don't look too good.
Oh, God.
Bridesmaids invited you to the after party, huh?
Huh. Okay. I, 31 male, feel like I'm staying in a marriage with my wife, 30 female, to make everyone else happy. Has anyone been in a similar situation? I'm not sure if this is the right way to I'm not sure if this is the right way to phrase it, but here it goes. I do love my wife. We've been together for 15 years and married for 11.
Damn.
I was 16 when we started dating and 19 when we got married, and I really regret getting married so young. You should.
Again, doesn't count. You were a teen.
Sometimes I feel like I'm staying mostly because I don't want to hurt her or leave her alone. We have 2 young kids, and we just moved into a nice big house in a great neighborhood last year. A split would mean we couldn't keep this house. I make about $150K a year, brag, but she quit her job to stay home with our youngest. My mom also lives with us. We moved specifically to give her a space of her own and a room for the baby. If we were to split, my mom would likely come with me, but I don't even know if I could afford a place big enough for her and the kids while still making sure everyone has what they need. Ooh, twist.
Custody of the mother is interesting.
Yeah, here comes a twist. I recently discovered I'm bisexual. My wife knows and is supportive of my identity, but she doesn't approve of any kind of experimentation. Fair. To be honest, I'm also not very physically attracted to her anymore. Uh-oh. She's gained about 75
Oh,
pounds
come on, buddy.
since we got married.
There's so many details you could have left out.
I know.
You still got advice.
I'm afraid that at a really low point, I might cheat on her, even though I'm strongly against doing that when I'm thinking clearly.
Imagine being so fat phobic that your wife gains a little weight and you're like, I guess I want to fuck guys.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Can I keep that in?
Of course.
Oh my god. Anyway, she's really good to me and says she's happy, but she often mentions that I'm not affectionate enough. I try, but it's hard, and I don't think it should be this hard. I feel trapped. If I leave, I feel like it would be extremely selfish. But staying means I might never be truly happy, and that I'll regret it one day. The whole situation feels like the grass is greener on the other side, but I can't tell for sure. I hate that I sometimes find myself wishing she would cheat on me or treat me badly, just so that leaving would feel easier. I feel guilty for even thinking that. I'm not sure why I decided to post here, but maybe someone out there is going through something similar. Any advice or perspective would help. Has anyone been in a similar situation?
It's so cool being in a point in our lives where, like, breaking up is just, like, fresh start.
Yeah.
And, like, has really no
like,
long-term effects and, like, logistics
entanglements
to it.
That's, like, very frightening to me.
Yeah.
This one's crazy. This one's crazy because I'm like, I was so on his side. Whoops, what? And then I was, like, kind of back on his side. And it's like, because he started acting like he had acted before.
Right.
But I'm like, wait, I can't forget about this little middle part where
Right.
where you're like, I'm bisexual, I want to go experiment. She thinks that's, like, she said no. And also, she's a fat pig. And she's like, but I just feel so guilty for even thinking about this kind of thing. Oh my god.
It is, like, at first when he's like, I'm not that attracted to you anymore, it's like, okay, tale as old as time, like, you've been together forever, there's gonna be a lull in the sexual chemistry, but it's like, oh, not because we've been fucking for 15 years, because, well, she's a freaking size 12 now!
She
What the
got
hell?
fat, and she, I don't know, takes care of me and our children and our home, and it's just kind of boring.
Womp womp. Lets my mom live in our house. Womp womp. It is, like, so complex. It is sad to be just, like, have a list of, like, the house, the money, the kids, the mom, and be like, well, those are all the reasons I can't break up with her, and it's, like, nothing about, like, her character or your chemistry or your partnership.
No, seriously.
It makes me want to be like, well, definitely just, like, go to therapy and see if you can fall back in love with each other.
Right. Also, the fucking sentence of, she's really good to me and says she's happy, but she often mentions I'm not affectionate enough. I try, but it's hard. I don't think it should be this hard. Sometimes I really think that, like, men in marriages are like, what is being in love? It's having a wife that is good to me. Mm-hmm. It's like, actually, relationships can be so much more than that. Sure. And, like, I don't know. It gets weird when it's like that, the, like, American dream, like, style of, like, I have the house, the kids, the life, the job, you know? It's like, but I don't want any of it. It's like, you can actually have those things and also have an enriching life. Mm-hmm. Like, people think it's one or the other. I mean, that's what we just fucking talked about for, like, an hour, about how we have different lives, but we are living similarly.
Same life, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's so interesting, this, like, impulse to cut and run from all of it. Like, he is exactly, like, he's not.
Damn, what happened?
Sorry. I was saying, like, exactly to, like, a point you had made before, but the way I said it just then was like, exactly like you had said something. I'm just talking to myself.
No, I love that you're like, what you said was so smart. Exactly.
No,
I didn't say a thing.
To your point, I agree exactly in that his choice right now is, I either stay and I'm tortured and miserable,
or I leave and ruin her life.
Yeah, I cut completely and run and, like, have to move out and have to, like, there are other options here. Like, try therapy. You could talk to her about opening up a relationship. Obviously, she's not okay with experimenting, but, like, maybe she doesn't know that you feel this trapped.
I was literally going to say everything that he's saying, especially confirming, and she says she's happy. It sounds like this man is just completely spiraling alone in secret and making this decision as if it's only his.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, well, maybe if she knew how dire it was, she'd be like, let's try being open.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
let's co-parent. Like, there's
Yeah.
just 1,000 steps in between, like you were
There
saying.
is 1,000 steps, and quite honestly, the first one is having a conversation with your wife, not going on Reddit.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And then maybe you break up, and that's fine.
And
It
yeah.
just, like, feels, damn, how lonely do you have to be like, I'm completely spiraling about falling out of love with my wife. I'm gonna go to Reddit about it.
Yeah.
And, like, clearly I haven't talked to my family about it one bit.
Yeah. I also think that it has the essence, a little sprinkling, a little seasoning of, like, you took on the responsibilities of a lot of things that you were then never going to prioritize, and that is your fault. And it sucks that it's going to hurt other people, even though you did it. Like, getting married. And he says he regrets getting married young, but he's also 31, and they got married at 19,
crazy.
so he also had a lot of time to, you know, cut and run. That was probably not it wasn't as complicated as it would be now. You moved into this home, you have this job, you had kids. That's a really big thing. It's like your priorities should be shifted to being a parent.
Yeah.
In a way that's like, you are really thinking about your own, like, kind of like sexual gratification, sex life, and relationship life, and not as a family. And there's a good chance that is because you have never acted as a family and only acted as an individual, which could have also led you to this point.
Sure. Also, if it all goes south and you guys get divorced, then you're single at 32, like the rest of the world.
Yeah, you
Like,
have,
you're,
you have,
so
yeah, you're still young.
Like, all of you guys are so young,
And-
it's gonna be okay.
Ignoring all the weird shit you said about her being fat and you being gay.
that one sentence, I was like, I'll never be on your side, bitch.
No, exactly. You ruined it. You ruined it. I was here for how complicated and hard and how good of a man you were trying to be, and then you were like,
Right.
also, she got kind of fat. Womp womp. But outside of that, I do completely understand the, like, feeling so much pressure about, like, breaking something up that, I mean, people feel pressure about breaking up with a relationship when it's, like, gonna affect the friend group. You know, like, imagine having a home, a family,
Yeah.
your mom, kids, like, all the shit. I get how that could be so stressful, but ultimately, I just don't ever see the way, just from this little portion, I don't see this man being the type to really sacrifice his happiness. I think he will do it regardless.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can't, like, just in the same way that you, like, can't pour from an empty pitcher, like, you have to take care of yourself to take care of others. Like, you won't have a good life if you just stay in it and be miserable and mean.
Yeah.
So, yes, you do have to get a divorce, and it will suck, and it'll take a while to shake out to, like, the right stuff, but it is the only option if you're at that point. But I don't even think you're at that point. I think you
Right.
need to have a conversation.
I can only imagine how pissed I would be if I got to quit my job because I had a partner that made a bunch of money, and then we broke up with each other, and I'm reeling from a breakup and have to fucking get on Indeed.com and find a job.
Dude.
Fate worse than death.
There are some fates worse than death. Okay. I like more serious ones like that.
Life-altering ones.
Yeah.
Because that guy would never have reached out to us via email.
No, he wouldn't have. But, like, I'm just scrolling through a lot of, like, me, 19, my boyfriend is the meanest man I've ever met alive. Should I break up with him? Yeah, fucking obviously.
These poor girls. Just again, a huge shout out to living in a place where, like, people weren't dating each other at young ages, and we, like, knew we didn't have to put up with that.
Oh my god. Holy shit. This one's explicit. Are you okay with that?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My 21 female
Uh-oh.
boyfriend, 26 male,
Yuck.
says coming in me is a boundary. What should I do?
Wait, what does that mean?
I, 21 female, have had an IUD for the entire time my boyfriend, 26 male, have been together, and it has caused me nothing but problems with my hormones and severe cramping at random times, and my period is extremely irregular. Since I've had an IUD the whole time we've been together, I've always let him and wanted him to finish in me during sex. Now, since I'm getting my IUD removed, it is recommended to not have sex for a week before getting it removed to prevent pregnancy, and my boyfriend and I have been arguing about it nonstop. I have a very high libido, so does he, so I've been asking to have sex still, with protection, or at least for him to pull out, and he says no, which is fine, but stated that the reason he's saying no is because I'm breaking a boundary because he needs to come in me. And by not letting him come in... and by not letting him come in me, I'm hurting him. He's getting upset because I keep trying to initiate sex, but I insist on using protection, which he doesn't believe in using. Last night we got into another heated argument about this, and I went outside for a walk to take a breather. When I got home, I guess he didn't hear me come back in, because when I... Oh no. Because when I walked into our room, he was bawling his eyes out crying, with his dick out, watching porn. For context, watching porn is something I've never been comfortable with, and he promised me he doesn't do it. The more that I think about it, I feel like this is his way of getting back at me for breaking his boundary. Now I do feel bad, because I keep asking, because I've been super horny, and he's told me no unless he can come in me, and I keep pressing him on the topic, but I feel like he's being unreasonable. And it's like, well, what are we going to do once my IUD is out? I guess we'll never have sex again. And that's the end.
The moral of this story...
We haven't even said anything. But, like, what is there to say?
The moral of this story is we should have never let men in on therapy language.
Exactly.
We should have never let them know the word boundary. What the hell is wrong with you?
Babe, you're crossing a boundary. I need to come inside of you.
That is so incredibly wild. Also, quick question. She said, oh, it's recommended to not have sex the week before you get your IUD out?
Yeah.
So all of this is about... I just, like... She said they both have a high libido, but I'm like, it's already 1 week of celibacy.
Yeah.
And things are crumbling.
She's also getting her IUD out, so...
So it is indicative of the rest of their relationship.
They would still, yeah.
That is... I'm going to go on to tell so many people this story, first of all.
It's one of the most outrageous things I've ever heard. Oh my god. Also, just a small detail there to just sort of add fuel to the fire. He said no to using protection because he doesn't believe in it, but is like, she has an IUD.
Yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't believe in it for, like, religious reasons. He just doesn't believe in putting a condom on because it doesn't feel good.
That is... See, and that's a narrative that everyone's familiar with.
Yeah.
The I have to nut inside you. Bleep, bleep, bleep. That's all, by the way. Every time they say nut, bleep.
Do I have to?
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
I'm just saying, you're making me say things like nut inside you.
Oh, I am, yeah. I am making you do that.
That is cuckoo bananas, cuckoo loco. My question is, are you guys interested in having children?
Yeah.
Because if so, perfect. Obviously you're not.
You're gonna have a fucking lot
birth
of them.
control.
Yeah.
But he might have like a fertility kink. What's it called?
Yeah. Oh fuck! It's the word they use for animals. Breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be something along those lines. That it's just like, obviously that's so crazy, and I hope that you guys are able to like redefine yourself sexually and still feel fulfilled. But
no,
like...
I hope you break up and he dies. Sorry.
But it's just the boundary of it all. Also, like, not to get too caught up in the technicality of the word.
No,
but, like,
but that is the problem.
But like, boundary is like, that's something that like you approach and then you like back up. To enter someone and then ejaculate, that's not like...
You can't have a boundary about someone else's body.
You just like... I don't know what I'm trying to say with that.
No, I think
But it's an action. Your boundary is an action?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a boundary is like like it's what we use to explain.
You're saying something
an
that has to happen is your boundary? No,
Yeah.
a boundary is something that already exists and is happening.
Also, a boundary is like a word used to describe an emotional like topic or essence. Your physical dick going inside my physical pussy and coming is not a boundary, babe. I can't say it. I feel gross for saying that.
The only boundary in this situation is the cervix blocking off the sperm.
Oh my god.
That is bananas.
And-
That was a really good one.
and-
no advice.
No advice,
obviously.
honestly. I just like whoever's listening to this podcast already agrees with us, so it's like fine. We don't, we all know what
The right answer is.
the right answer is. What do you think about the whole crying while watching porn thing? It's kind of embarrassing for him,
Kind
huh?
of embarrassing.
But I think I agree with her. I think he wanted her to find him like that,
Yeah.
which is even more embarrassing.
Yeah. What the drama with these two. I bet she always has a fucking story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's always something with him.
Break
Break
up.
up. Also, I hope you like get on the pill or find birth control that works for you.
Yeah,
More
or
than anything.
yeah, true. That sucks that your IUD fucked you up.
But maybe it was your boyfriend. Maybe all those symptoms were just this guy's
Like,
stressing you the fuck out.
Yeah, being with him.
What were their ages again?
She was 21, he was 26.
Ew, that's even worse.
It's so much worse. A man a year older than us.
A year older than us is like
Did
my
that.
boundary.
Ugh. That is awful.
I have a boundary
awful,
about
awful.
someone's fertility. Shut the fuck up.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I, 25 female, just found out my boyfriend, 28 male, bet $5,000 that he could get me in bed. What should I do?
5,000. Okay, well, he's a rich man.
I, 25 female, met my boyfriend, 28 male, of 3 years in a bar. It was literally the best night for me. I was celebrating with friends that I graduated from college. He bought me a drink, and then the rest is history. We moved in together 2 years ago. While moving, one of his friends made a comment, "Oh, who would have thought this would have happened after our convo?" I ignored it and just moved on. 2 days ago, I was at work, and one of his friends works with me. It was weird at first because we never eat together, but this day he did come to eat lunch with me. He started saying how gentle I look and how I was the purest person he had ever met.
Wait, what? This is her coworker?
That's also her boyfriend's friend.
Okay.
To be honest, I was confused. So are we. He then said he had to tell me something. He told me my boyfriend is planning on proposing, but he can't let him do that. He said that when we saw you, you looked innocent enough, so we bet who of us will get you in bed first. The bet was for $5,000. Well, 1 month after we started dating, he did get me in bed, and apparently he told them and he got his $5,000. I felt betrayed and confused. I haven't told my boyfriend about this conversation. He is on a work trip and coming back tomorrow. Apparently, he has planned something very special for tomorrow night, since it's our anniversary. I feel used. Does he really love me? If it was just a stupid bet between friends, why not tell me after so long? Should I tell him on FaceTime tonight? And there's an update, but I think we should talk about it first.
There's a lot here.
It is
First
a
of
lot.
all, what's the movie with Freddie Prinze Jr. where they're like, you can't make that nerd prom queen?
She's all that.
She's all that. Mm-hmm. It's that.
She got all thatted.
So I'm just a bet to you? That's her
Yes.
real life. That's crazy.
That is her real life.
Um,
Can I say, I think I would be very, very, very upset. I would feel gross. I would think we need to talk about it. The biggest problem was that he never said anything
yeah.
for the 3 years. However, he's not with you for 3 years for this bet.
Yeah.
He does, like, want to be with you, but he fucked up big.
I'm trying to think of a... the like, well, he should have told you at this point, or he should have told you at this point. I'm like, if you guys fell in love and now you're getting married after many years together, it must have quickly turned into something different, and then he must just be like very embarrassed by that. And I think that it should be like huge blowout fight. He needs to like make things right and kind of win you over and give you $5,000 cash.
Yes.
First and foremost,
Yes.
that 5K is yours.
10K.
Go shopping. Oh yeah, let's double it.
Double it.
Um,
Not that you
But
can
then-
buy, sex from women.
but like on the large scale, like if you were ready to marry him yesterday before you knew this information, I feel like you guys are gonna be good once you make it through that fight.
Yeah.
But it also is like,
If
ew,
yeah.
I'm marrying a guy that at one point was like making bets on girls at the bar.
See, that's where I'm
That's
like,
gross.
okay,
but hopefully
that-
he's different.
No, I'm like, if he did that, that's not the only problem with him.
Yeah.
I think that when people are like, besides this, everything's perfect, I never believe them. Because if it was perfect,
wouldn't have
he
to say
wouldn't be
that.
the type to do that.
Yeah.
But he did do that, and then he didn't tell you for 3 years.
Also, she must be the hottest person in the world.
Yeah.
To be like, you could never get with her for, that's a lot of money to
5K.
make a bet on.
How do you feel about the friend that
Was telling her.
the coworker / friend?
It's weird that was like, it makes me think that there's maybe more to it, and that like that was weighing on a friend.
Yeah.
And that was enough of a like concern
Yeah.
that he was like, you have to know this before
Sure.
you solidify this relationship forever.
Follow-up question.
Wait, but I forgot he was like low-key hitting on her while he was telling her that.
Follow-up question. How would you feel if someone approached you and said, "You're just so gentle
A coworker, nonetheless.
and innocent"? Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting room tone.
Crying baby. Oh. Babies. Yeah, no, telling her then in that moment, because he knows that he's going to propose, his friend is going to propose to her, and is like, I can't let this go, whatever. That feels ulterior motives.
Cock block.
Feels like he has his own motivations for doing
Yeah,
that.
a little bit. I also think she shouldn't tell him on FaceTime. I think she
No.
should let him come home and be like, we're postponing this big anniversary plan, and we're gonna talk this out, because that is fucking weird of you.
Yeah.
I do see them making it through.
I do think that it could have been a huge fuck up, a huge mistake that he then didn't know, like, is it better or worse? Like, maybe if she never finds out, that's better.
Yeah.
It was a low point for me. Sure. I mean, I think I can have, like, a little bit of empathy for that, because we've all been in situations where we just, like, did something stupid, and then we were like, fuck. Like, what do I do about this? But
Also-
it is a gross one. It's a
am
gross
framing it as like your buddies being like, you could never get with a girl like that, she's so out of your league, and he's like, you want to bet? That I hope it's that scenario, because then you're still going for someone you find hot and attractive and cool, and maybe you would do it if it wasn't a bet anyway.
Yeah.
If it's she's all that style, and they're like, look at that girl, you would never fuck her, would you? And he's like, watch me.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I'm like, I need the context of the bet.
Yes. Also, I think what's really important too is that the bet wasn't about him and her. It was out of those friends, who can get her in bed first.
Oh.
Here, let me see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, lucky for you, this gross mistake that you made led to your beautiful future wife.
Right.
That's...
He said that when we saw you, you looked innocent enough, so we bet who of us will get you in bed first.
Oh.
The bet was for 5K. That's grosser.
Damn, you going up to be like someone and being like, all my friends are so attracted to you.
Yeah, and that's also like that shit like that grosses me out so bad, because I'm like, you're all operating on the like assumption that she would sleep with you, any of you. She would. It's just who
which
can do it
one?
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, ugh. Okay, you want to hear the update?
Yeah.
Update 1. Thanks for all the advice. I couldn't wait anymore, so I did call my boyfriend and told him I knew about the bet. Well, he said there's much more to it. They did bet for the money, but he never took it, apparently. I told him that I need space right now and I can't talk about this over the phone. He said he'll explain everything and to not fully trust his friend. He then texted me that he loves me and to have faith in our relationship. Also, I was never friends with his friend. He just recently started working in the same hospital I work in. I did throw up after my conversation with him. I'm still disgusted.
She's like, I got really bad food poisoning.
Why
by
is she
the way.
including that? And I know I'm worried because of his comments that there's much more I need to know. I'll try to update after I talk with him.
Can I do a quick side note?
Yeah.
Because I'm laughing about the throw up today. Lizzie, Mitch, and I were sitting at a park, and there was a birthday party happening across the field, and we just hear a mom yell, "She has diarrhea poop on her pants." And we couldn't stop laughing about the term diarrhea poop.
Not just poop on her pants, she got diarrhea poop.
Anyway,
on her
if I found out that my partner placed a bet on me, I would have diarrhea poop on my pants for sure.
Sorry, one of the top comments is, "This is BS. Friends might make a bet, but for $5K? No."
I know, they're rich friends.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this
Was
is...
that the only update?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then she deleted her account.
I feel
so-
like they're still together because I feel like if they broke up, she would have the will to get on and be like, by the way,
I
he's dead
dumped
to me.
him.
But
Yeah.
instead, she was probably like planning a wedding.
That's a weird one. That is a weird one.
Big stretch. I know you guys can't see it, but she's doing a really good big stretch right now.
That felt good. Do you think we gave any solid advice?
Well, we just did commentary this time around.
We really did. We did.
It's like when this isn't a friend of yours reaching out that will listen.
Yeah.
People are crazy.
People are crazy.
After hearing those stories, are you now so inclined to find a relationship?
No, it's justifying everything I thought already, which is that
Picture this. A guy approaches you at a bar, sleeps with you, gets $5K for it, ends up he placed a bet on you. Then he wants you to remove your IUD because impregnating you is one of his boundaries. And then you have 2 kids together, but then he finds out he's bisexual and wants to leave you because you got fat. What would you do?
Man.
What would you do?
Kill myself. Kill him.
Duh.
Kill myself. Murder
Suey.
Yeah, no, this has given me exactly what I thought Reddit relationship advice would give me, which is absolutely no hope. But I'm okay with that.
Sure.
And there are amazing, good, mature, real people in this world. I know that because I'm friends with them.
Period.
And if I never find love, but instead I live in a cottage in the woods, that is awesome.
That is a type of love. Cottage in the woods, by the way.
Should we make goals for each other
Oh, sure.
and for ourselves?
Sure. Well, you go ahead. What's on your mind?
I think I don't know what goal I would give you for love.
These can be so abstract too, because
Yeah.
the other ones we would check in like the next week, and this one's just like goal for life until we meet again.
Yeah. I think that you I'm going to tell you my first instinct, and then I'm going to think about it and give you an actual goal. My first thing I was going to say is I think you should, at one point, sometime soon, hide in your home before Caleb gets home, and then scare him.
That's your goal?
No, that's your goal, girl.
It's okay. Okay, we could do that tonight. I'll set up some GoPros.
Yeah.
Get some footage.
No, I don't know why that's the first thing I thought of. But it's like, how do I give
You're
advice?
like, you're already in a relationship. There's nowhere to go from here.
You gotta just do something
no way
silly.
to grow. No way to better yourself.
I
Scare the
think
man.
I don't know. You guys have like done all the things I would recommend couples do. Like you've gone, you live together. You take care of it.
You always are recommending living together to couples.
You take care of a dog together. You go on
Yeah.
vacations where you like unplug and just hang out. You have similar interests and your own interests.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, maybe we're not doing too bad.
I would say
I can think of 1,000 goals for myself and how I can be a better partner.
okay.
I
Then,
would not describe myself as easy to be with.
okay. I on vibes alone disagree, but I guess I'm not.
Thank
you. Know, in
I was
your
hoping everyone. I
relationship.
was hoping. I obviously take that back. I think I am. I am proud of the partner that I am, but
Yeah.
also I'm just a crazy girl and I say wild stuff that hurts people's feelings.
Nah. Who cares?
Hey, so what? Who cares?
Is that your goal, to be nicer to him?
No, I think I'm fairly nice. It's funny because like there's like roommate goals and then there's like girlfriend goals.
That's so true.
Where now that we live together, I'm like, yeah, obviously it would be better for our relationship if I put my dishes in the dishwasher. I understand that. But I don't. That's my boundary.
Ah, fuck.
There's
There
a
are
literal
really people
boundary
like
between
that.
the sink and the dishwasher, and I just can't pass that boundary to
No.
the dishwasher.
Like, obviously, the guy who's
Sorry.
like, I need to come inside you, that is a boundary, is super ridiculous. But the boundary of, like, I can't do my dishes, like, I feel like a lot of people are like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that would be one of them. Oh, well, here's an actual girlfriend goal.
Okay.
His birthday is next week.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
so that's like to be a girlfriend of someone who's having a birthday is huge. That's like a big responsibility.
That is.
And my goal is to make that fun for him. And he used to like not care. I mean, I don't think he probably still would say that he doesn't really care about his birthday too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the first birthday I celebrated with him. I was like, well, this is the first birthday you're having with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
To be a boy having a birthday and you have a girlfriend, you're so lucky.
You're so fucking
Because you
lucky.
get like not this is obviously so basic and whatever. I'm really subscribing to gender norms here, but I'm like, I'm making you a birthday sign. Duh.
Yeah, duh.
I'm getting you a birthday treat. Duh.
Duh.
I'm like making sure all your friends know the restaurant to be at and what time so we can celebrate you. Duh. It's
Duh.
like you're so lucky.
No, 100%.
And I'm so lucky to get to celebrate him, of course. So I want to do a really good job of that and make him feel special. That's my goal. Happy birthday, Caleb.
Happy birthday, Caleb. That's gorgeous.
And to pop out and scare
And also
him,
maybe
I
try to
guess.
pop out and scare him.
It's getting late. It's getting late, you guys.
Oh.
It got dark outside while we were recording. You got spooky stuff on the mind.
We were sitting up and like looking at
wish
each
you could
other.
see the
We are
position
we are
we're
now
in.
fully like
scissoring.
we
We are.
no,
kinda.
we're Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, grandparents in the bed style.
Yeah, I know.
We're
that,
just all
right?
stretched out. Feels good.
I'm feeling myself again. I was so prim and proper before.
Any goals for me?
Your goal is to. Well, you're about to like experiment with a whole new life. What's so funny about that? She's going on a trip for 2 weeks, is what I mean. But
Yeah, I'm gonna try farming.
you are about to experiment in a whole new life, and it's like to me as close to what you saying like I might not find love, but I might live in a cottage in the woods.
Yeah.
It's as close to experimenting with that life as you can get.
Yeah.
Of being on a farm and unplugging. That's like my goal for you is to just sit in that as much as you can and let it
Yeah.
resonate with what you already know about yourself and be open to learning more things about how that lifestyle might
Actually,
work
look.
for you.
Yeah.
And if a farm hand comes along and sweeps you off your feet, then so be it.
God damn, you know. Yeah, I'm about to Walden it.
I don't know what that means. Are you sobbing? Not are you crying, but are you sobbing?
Are you sobbing right now? Any last advice for the tens of listeners out there?
Definitely, if you guys are looking for a boyfriend, definitely hit up Tally's friends. There might be
Yeah.
one in there for you. hit us up about the meaning of life. We'll give it to you straight.
We're gonna give it to you straight, crooked, sideways, gay. Don't worry about it.
Wait, do you have any goals for yourself?
Oh, just to like kind of keep going. Yeah, I'm chilling.
Yup.
I want to make sure I'm in a good middle ground of being open but not desperate, and being willing but not expecting.
Love.
And I think that there's a chance I might be, just with how I'm feeling currently, like I might be overcorrecting just a little bit. Like I'm finding so much comfort in like not caring about relationships, not being a relationship person right now, not dating, actively choosing that for myself, that I worry that I'm then just setting myself up to be unhappy on the other side of the spectrum. So really what it is just like the gray area between it, of like I am happy and satisfied with my life, and if love came into it in the traditional sense, it would add things, it would change things, it would make things great, but I'm also like good, satisfied, happy without it. I honest to God, every night I get into bed and I think about the fact that there are people I know, like you, in this world
Put that finger down.
that share their bed with someone.
That's crazy, yeah.
And, like, for some reason, it is, like, so, like, oh, I just wish there was someone there in bed with me. No! Bitch, I'm spread eagle. I'm wrapped up in these sheets. The idea that another fucking person would be there pisses me the fuck off. If I ever fall in love, we have 2 different bedrooms. But yeah, my goal is to kind of, like, stay open to, like, the possibility of love.
That no was the most guttural sound I've ever heard. You meant it, and I was believing everything you were saying. Of course, I was completely understanding it. And when that moment came, I said, "These are facts.
These are
not opinions. These are facts."
It has been building up a little bit inside of me, the frustration of like, specifically women thinking they can't be complete without a partner. It drives me bananas.
Yeah.
Because yes, that life has told us that for hundreds of billions of years.
Classic.
And now more than ever, it's completely untrue. It has always been completely untrue, but at least now we have the society to back you up being an individual person. Mm-hmm. Kinda. Sorta. It's better than it's ever been. Take advantage of it. Love life. The meaning of life are tiny little bugs on a tree.
The meaning of life is mailbox, and you know that.
The meaning of life is mailbox.
But
tiny bugs on a tree.
I also want to go on record and say, if you think that I ever entered a relationship to share a bed,
No, I know.
you better count your fucking days.
You know what's awful, listeners? The first year of Caroline and Caleb's relationship
Oh my god.
was spent in a twin bed.
If that ain't love,
Yeah,
you guys have no idea. You guys have no... you have no idea.
You sacrificed more than I would ever be willing to sacrifice.
That we made it. That's all I'll say. We made it.
Don't look back.
Don't look back. Now we got that Casper Queen, bro.
Ooh, I can't believe you even share a queen. I need a Alaskan king bed to share with a person. And that person...
Alaskan king.
Yeah, bigger than a California king.
Okay.
And that person also needs to be about 5'2", 100 pounds.
And insist on sleeping at the foot of the bed.
Yeah, and if you gain 75 pounds, I'm turning gay.
Bye. Bye. Love you guys.
Love you guys so much.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to really edit this.